welcome to the Pikeville City Manager's Report. I'm Jill Fraley-Dotson, your host for today's show. As always, joined by Pikeville City Manager Philip Elswick.
Hey, Jill.
Philip, we are back at the Overlook Event Center, a place that has been very popular over the last few weeks and months as we are coming out of the pandemic. Things are opening up, things are becoming a little bit more normal. So we decided to come back up to this great building that is now really a landmark in Pikeville.
Absolutely. It certainly has a better backdrop than we sometimes have for our shows. So it's good to be back here.
It is, absolutely. So we're going to go over a lot of various projects that we've worked on over the last few months, give an update like we always do for the show. And the first one that we want to talk about is the Kentucky Enterprise Industrial Park Speculative building that is also now known as Wright's headquarters.
Right. That building has been under construction for a year or so, and it's complete. Substantially complete anyway. The Wrights will be doing some work inside of it, but as far as the city's part of the project, it's done. So over the next couple of months, they'll be doing some construction there, moving offices there, and hopefully we'll have all their staff there later in the summer.
Yeah, it's funny that you remember back to the day that it was started pre-pandemic, and you go up there and now it's this beautiful, huge building, and they're really excited to get in there and bring their headquarters there, their mixed materials plant, and when you go up there, it just kind of gives you a vision of what the rest of the park can look like too. Absolutely.
It's a beautiful building, and it's been a very smooth construction with a couple of minor issues, but it's gone very well, and it's almost on time. And so we're excited to see what else will come after this.
Yeah, we certainly are. Also, another project that's been going on the bypass in front of the hospital is the Pedestrian Tunnel. I thought that it would have taken much longer to complete, but it's well on its way to completion now, but going to provide a lot more ease for people that are in the parking lot to get to the hospital and vice versa.
Yeah, it's counterintuitive how short the construction period for that project is. I think it's 45 or 60 days. But if you've been traveling around Pikeville, you're well aware that the bypass is closed. So we'll be glad to get that road back open. Last week, the last sections of the tunnel were placed. So now it's a backfilling project to get the trench filled, get the road repaved and reopened. That project's going very well as well. And as you mentioned, it is an important project at the hospital. It allows traffic to pass, but not vehicular traffic, but pedestrian traffic, to pass between the Riverfield parking lot and the main campus of the hospital. So it provides them some connectivity, but it also provides much safer passage than we've had there in the past.
Certainly so, but the one thing it does bring to mind is the fact that you don't realize how much you travel that road until it's closed.
That's right.
And you forget
Absolutely.
when you're traveling down through there and you have to turn around. Been guilty of that several times, but we'll make it a whole lot easier for pedestrian traffic at the hospital for sure. A lot of people have been talking about the new Fazoli's that is going at Yorktown Landing, which is just south of town. That restaurant is scheduled to be open June 15th, which is very exciting. It's been a longer process than we first anticipated because of COVID and some other issues. But also next to that, in the former Fastenal building, will be a new fire station.
Right, this is a project we talked about for a while, and of course COVID delayed the project and funding issues, but we have secured funding from USDA Rural Development, including a $350,000 grant. So it will be much cheaper for the city than it otherwise would have been if we'd funded it directly, which is why we went this route. But we hope construction will begin there in the next 4 to 6 weeks, and the project will be done hopefully by the end of the year, and we can replace our current station with this new, more modern station.
Yeah, it would be a great building to look at also. Let's talk about some other projects, and this is something that came from just conversations with students at the high school.
Right.
And that is pickleball courts. Now, I had no idea what a pickleball court was, I want to be honest. I don't know that you knew either. A lot of us didn't know, but apparently it's not only popular amongst the kids, but also a more mature audience or group of people that would want to go out and get some recreation. So we're having new pickleball courts and basketball courts installed.
Right. As you said, pickleball has become a increasingly demanded thing in the city. So we have some property across the road from the YMCA at Bob Amos Park that really we've been looking for something to do with that property. So we've chosen to construct 3 pickleball courts there and a basketball court. The city only had one outdoor basketball court. It was located at Hamley Athletic Complex. So this kind of allows us to kill two birds with one stone, I suppose. And we had at the tennis courts at Bob Amos at the track, we striped one of the tennis courts as also a pickleball court. And it became quite clear that one pickleball court was not sufficient. So that is out to bid now. It should go to construction in the summer and be done shortly thereafter.
It's not a very long process to get those constructed.
No, it's not.
So that'll be exciting for everyone. Also, speaking of the tennis courts, the resurfacing of those tennis courts is also going to be completed.
Right. That's been a project that we've talked about for a while now. Something that needs to be done, and it's in our draft budget for the next fiscal year. I expect it to survive through the budgetary process, and we'll do that also this summer and fall. That's going to be a huge project. It requires milling the asphalt there that the tennis courts sit on, resurfacing, restriping, new nets. It's a big project, so it'll take a little while to get that done.
Something that's needed though, I mean, we have a lot of traffic and a lot of people that use the courts up there. Much greater need than what, maybe a lot of us thought there was in the beginning, but that's going to be a wonderful project. Another project that we're working on that everyone gets excited about, although we're in May now, are Christmas lights. And you have to think months in advance when you talk about Christmas lights. We're looking at replacing some of those lights in the downtown area, getting some new lights, but also creating some features along Bob Amos Drive. Right.
Last year, Christmas, we put a lot of effort into making it special for 2020 because 2020 was a rough year. And we're continuing that theme through the new year into 2021. So there's a number of events that will go on downtown with Winterfest, the Christmas parade, things of that nature. But we want a more traditional, shall I say, look to the downtown area than maybe we've had in the past. And then also in Bob Amos Park, we're going to have some lights that move, I suppose, is the right way to describe that. Just something to bring more people to town. Kids will love it. And that's the beginning of a larger project.
Right. You got to start somewhere, though.
That's right. That's right.
It's been fun looking through the options for that, I will say. One of the other exciting things as we come out of the pandemic and certainly into the summer months is the Creative Arts District at City Square. City Square is our entertainment district, but within that, the Creative Arts District has really become something that's pretty popular. And as we talk about moving forward and other projects that we have in place, a lot of those center around the Creative Arts District that's along Division Street.
Right. This is something we've talked about a lot, but the Creative Arts District is really important to our downtown area. It's anchored, on the corner of 2nd Division by the Appalachian Center for the Arts, or the App, and then on Main Street by the Arena. There's a number of things we're working to do there. Last year we opened the Umbrella Alley, I believe is what we call it, with the colorful umbrellas there between Division and Grace on 2nd Street. We unveiled a new mural there. Recently, we had a Paint by Numbers event that was in collaboration with the high school, their Teens Who Care program. And it was really a mural that the kids painted that was drawn by Jordan Justice. Really, it's a commemoration of their feelings, emotions, memories, things of that nature from the COVID pandemic. It's a beautiful mural after it was done. It was wasn't sure what it was going to look like in the process, but it turned out to look really well, and it's still sitting on the Judicial Center Plaza if you want to see that. We'll be locating that somewhere in town. That's just the beginning of something we hope to do in the future.
Yeah, those are projects that I know that immensely talented group of young people are excited about. I know the teachers from the high school that helped sponsor that group, Kelly Scott, along with a few others, are really excited about those murals and what they can mean and how long they're going to be able to last in Pikeville. Obviously, you mentioned Umbrella Alley and Austin Casebolt, the mural that he unveiled last year. We took it down for the winter, obviously. That is back up. There's a couple other paintings that are under construction now or in the works that will be unveiled soon. But that whole area is really going to be is really right in the heart of downtown. And certainly there are a lot of activities and different things planned for that area. You mentioned the app, and with the shuttering of venues and their inability to do live shows, they moved to an exhibit-based projects, I guess, if you will.
Right.
The first one being Native Reflections, Crossroads, Change in Rural America was there. And then right now they have World of Jesus that is going to be lasting until September 11th. So a lot of different cultural exhibits that are there that people are really responding to.
Right. That was always part of the vision when we opened the app, was to have visual arts, performing arts, music, the whole range of arts, I suppose. So the exhibits fall in place with that, and COVID provided us a great opportunity to focus on that, whereas we might otherwise not have had the time to focus on those things. We've been very fortunate. The Native Arts, Native Reflections exhibit was brought to us by the Kentucky Arts Council. That's a great recognition for the app and for the city to be recognized by the Arts Council. The World of Jesus is in collaboration with UPike and Tommy Chamberlain, and that's going on now, and it's received a lot of attention, I believe. And then we had the Crossroads Changes in Rural America, which was a Smithsonian exhibit. And as part of that, we also performed a Chautauqua, of Effie Waller-Smith, one of a native poet here. And that is being picked up as one of the official Chautauquas of the Kentucky Humanities Council, which is very impressive. There are only a few of those, maybe a dozen official ones that they do, and now Effie Waller-Smith, a native of Pikeville, is being added to that. The app is also working on a new one of Mayor Hambly to tell the story of the cut-through and his time as mayor. I'm not sure when that'll be released, but that's in the works now. And our Pikeville History Moments videos, which we've released probably 20 of those now, about a range of topics in the city. All of that plays into our Creative Arts District and our creative placemaking that we're attempting to do. We want to make downtown Pikeville a destination for arts, amongst a whole range of other things. But our arts, we believe, is something that can really attract people to come to Pikeville. Robin Irwin and her staff do a fantastic job. So we're putting a lot of time and effort into making the downtown area this creative place to bring people to Pikeville.
Well, a lot of people, now that we see people traveling again, you can walk up and down 2nd Street at any point and run into people from different places that are just here wanting to see what's going on.
Absolutely.
And since the umbrellas are back up, I think that's been even there's been even more traffic. Of course, with the weather changing and things becoming a little nicer, that's happened. Now, along 2nd Street, we do want to talk about a new project that's going on, and that is called the Shops at 225. And this is a project that has been going on for a long time, under the radar, so to speak. A lot of planning has gone into it, but that is going to be a wonderful space within the former Anderson building, if people are familiar with that, along 2nd Street. Right.
This is a project that Minta Trimble's wanted to do for a while, our Main Street director. And finally, all the pieces came together that we can do it. So the city has leased the first floor of the Anderson building on 2nd Street as what we refer to as an under one roof project, which is going to have multiple small spaces for retail to try their concept, I suppose. And hopefully those businesses will grow into their own brick and mortar locations. I think we'll have 6 or 8 over time as it opens. But these are projects that are done in a lot of other towns. We've talked to the folks in Trenton, Missouri about the one there, and it was very successful. And you mentioned another one this morning about Iowa. So this is not something unique to Pikeville, but it's definitely something that we believe will really help our retail community.
Well, you have so many retailers, I think, and people that have these wonderful business ideas, but the startup cost is very expensive for a business. So when you go to a regular brick and mortar, it's hard when you have all of the fees and all that sort of thing. So this is going to be like a business incubator.
It is.
Some will stay there permanently. Some will transition out to larger facilities, to more of their own brick and mortar space. But the places that we've talked about all over the country that have had these type of business adventures, I guess you could say, really have had success with them. And I think that we'll have success here as well.
Right. One of the things that we've learned through our number of buildings that we have in town that we have leased to businesses is that it's really important that they have some skin in the game. So we have gone away from the $1 per year lease to actually a rental rate now and treating it just as a normal business, that would rent their space anywhere. So it's important on these shops at 2 through 5 to realize that this is not free space. Each one of those businesses will pay rent to the program. There'll be utilities charged, the whole gamut of expenses for businesses, just so they totally grasp what you're taking on when you open a new business.
Absolutely. Excited to see the work start on that, which should be within the next 3 weeks,
right.
I think. Something else we're excited about is as we emerge from shutdowns and COVID is that our restaurants are opening back up to full capacity. One of those restaurants is on 2nd Street, and then it's Bank 253 that is now open for lunch and dinner under new ownership, new management, the whole gamut. But the food is fantastic.
It is.
And they're welcoming guests.
Absolutely. We're so glad to have Bank 253 reopened in Pikeville. It's an important anchor in our downtown area, in our creative arts district. We need places for people to go eat before events at the arena. So it's really something we're glad to see reopen. And then also on that note, Broken Throne on Main Street is now offering food selections as well.
Yeah, they have a really strong burger menu, a create your own, if you will, there at Broken Throne. And then, along Caroline too, you have Joyce's that is still open and does great food as well. So as we go forward, I know a number of people contact the ED office on a regular basis about opening restaurants or eateries, if you will. So I anticipate that will be you'll have greater options coming up too, but we're excited to have those two businesses offering food now. A project that we've been working on for a while now that has been really exciting is our Trail Town initiative. And I guess when you live here, sometimes you don't think a lot about the trails that we do already have and how much tourism that brings into our area, but that's been a huge project too.
It has. This is a certification from the state that we've kind of chased for a while, but we've really gotten some momentum through the pandemic. Again, it's one of those things that maybe when everything's going on, you don't have time to give it the attention that it needs. But when we're all working from home, you have more time to work on bigger, longer range projects, and certainly Trailtown fits in that. So Andy Linton, Jimmy Taylor, Minta Trimble have been very involved in that. They've done an excellent job with that work, and I'm very pleased with how far we've come in a year working on it. If you've noticed around town, you'll see trailhead signs that talk about the trail system, as well as other tourism opportunities and Pikeville events, a whole gamut of things. So those are being installed at different locations in town. The river, the Levice Fork, is really the trail that we're seeking certification for. So a lot of our events, Trailtown events, are going to be centered around the river. We've had fishing tournaments. We have more scheduled. There's a whole lot of things that go into Trailtown. But in addition to the river, we're also working on our trails at Bob Amos. We have a number of miles of trails at Bob Amos that are already existing that just need a little maintenance and a little upkeep. So we hope to get those reopened very soon. We've had a number of volunteer groups working on those, including some students from UPike, and our fire department has volunteered time. We're working on a naming system now where we're going to be seeking some input from others, but it's going to be based on a larger theme of nature or cultural historic heritage. It's one of the themes that comes from our comprehensive plan, which we were strongly encouraged to focus on heritage, our cultural sites, as well as the natural beauty that we have. So we're trying to bring all that together in the Creative Arts District as well as Trailtown.
It has been a really exciting project. And for people here that have often used the multi-use trail,
right.
Or if they've gone to Muddy Boots and done the horseback riding for the day, those trails are just minimal compared to what we actually have there and are working on. So it's exciting to get those back open. And a lot of people are seeking adventure tourism now. So you have the river, you have the hiking trails, you have all sorts of different things. Obviously, we have a strong relationship with the Breaks and are working on some things now to partner a little bit better with them to provide more of those adventure type opportunities. So there's never going to be a lack of anything for you, especially if you're an outdoors person. Events in the city of Pikeville are when I look at our calendar of events, it's a little overwhelming to think that we went from nothing last year and we're always planning different things to them actually being on the calendar now, being planned with the mask mandates lifted for, especially for outdoors events, and also going into the insides of buildings. It is a little mind-blowing to see what's going on, but that's an exciting time. That's exciting for people that live here and certainly people from outside of town that come into those events. One of those is going to start on June 12th, and that's Dinner and White.
Yeah, the Dinner and White's an annual event we always have. It's a fundraiser for Main Street. It grows in popularity every year, I think. The last time we had it, we had well over 400 people attend. So that's an old event that we're bringing, well, not an old event, but it's a routine annual event that we're bringing back in 2021. And then there's a whole host of new events that we spent 2020 planning that we're finally getting to roll out.
Yeah, it's exciting to be able to announce those. Another one that we do want to talk about for sure is we always love the fireworks in Pikeville on the 4th of July. So this year, Independence Day at Pikeville is gearing up to be really the biggest event that we've done in a long time. In a very, very long time, a number of months. So that is going to be centered around freedom, food trucks, and fireworks. I had to get everything in there. But that is going to be a 3-day festival that we're now actively planning and should be a lot of fun for everybody.
It should. It's, typically our Independence Day celebration has just been the day of the 4th. We have things in town, inflatables for kids in the park, and fireworks at night. But this year, just because of the situation we've been in for so many months, we've decided to expand that and try something different. So we'll be having a 3-day festival with food trucks, as you mentioned. We also expect we'll have some other vendors, maybe some artisan vendors and things like that. But we're excited to see what happens. I think the last I heard, we had nearly 10 food trucks that were confirmed to be here. We certainly expect to have a lot more before we get to July the 4th.
Yeah, it is going to be a lot of fun. And I think we're going to draw a number of people in just because they've been cooped up for so long, for lack of a better term. And it is fun, and it is fun to get to plan those festivals again. I know a lot of people were very disheartened because Hillbilly Days did not happen again this year, and certainly we would have loved to have done that, but it was just, you couldn't do it safely.
That's right.
And you couldn't be the first out of the gate to do something like that when there were still so many restrictions in place.
It's not like the Derby where you can restrict how many people come through the gates. You can enter Hillbilly Days Festival about anywhere in town. So we had no option but to cancel that this year. But we certainly look forward to it coming back in 2022 as just another festival we have in town. And we certainly hope that the other ones we have talked about and are going to talk about will continue as well. Yeah,
going to be a lot of fun. Coming up in September, another festival, Music, Moonshine, and Makers. This is going to be really just a huge festival centered around our heritage, our culture in Eastern Kentucky and the Appalachian Mountains. It is a crafter's dream, to come in. This is not going to be, these are all going to be things that are made with your hands. I mean, that people could sit and watch you make your craft, anything from cutting boards to baskets and painting, art, pottery even. And also Appalachian food and music. The arena is a huge part of this. And scheduling music every day for this festival.
Yeah, this is a project really that falls within our creative placemaking, creative arts district overarching theme. It's also something the commission wanted to do to kind of harken back to our heritage and bring back the traditional craft and traditional food that we saw at Hillbilly Days 30 years ago. So we're trying to bring that back to town. It was always very popular and successful, and we expect this will be no different.
It will be. Look for many more, a lot more press than that to come. We're just kind of getting through Dinner and White first, then we have Independence Day at Pikeville, and then obviously we'll plan more.
Yeah, this is something that some of our staff is very interested in. It's being an arts festival and growing that into a full-blown, well-respected arts festival and bringing artists from all over Kentucky. So this is the start. You have to start somewhere, but we feel like it'll be successful, and then we'll just build on that momentum.
Absolutely. The app, they are planning feverishly for a lot of different things. They have camps coming up this summer and then a couple shows.
Right. In mid-June, Junie B. Jones Jr. is one of the camps, and then early July, there's the Seussical Junior camp. Both of those, if they're not already closed, they're pretty close.
Yeah.
So if you're interested, you need to contact the app.
They're also planning for the Marvelous Wonderettes July 30th through August 7th. They have one sold out show. If Birds Can Fly, also is going to be in the month of May. That's May 29th. And then another project they've been working on, and I love this, pop-up art on the plaza.
Right.
A series of dates through July where different people are going to come, different artists. You have painters, you have sculptors, all different sorts of artisans that are going to be there on those dates. So if you miss one, you can always pick it up later on, something that Robin's been really heavily involved in.
Yeah, again, this is something that ties into our Creative Arts District, but there will be different artists from around the region there on 4 different dates in June and July, doing different types of art. Basket weaving is one of them that I remember. If you're interested in that, you need to contact the app because those are filling quickly.
Yeah, something else fun on June 26th is going to be the Murder Mystery Dinner Theater. Something else we've wanted to do for a long time.
Right.
All the pieces came together. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. It's going to be held at where we are now, the Overlook. The food will be prepared by the arena in West Hutchinson, which, I mean, that's an attraction in and of itself. So we're looking forward to that. We hope that'll just be the first of many of those that we're able to do.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun and something that we are looking to do maybe once a quarter. That should be a really good attraction here at the Overlook. And then last but not least, the biggest building downtown is the arena. And I'll tell you, they have really found a way to come out of this pandemic in a big way. So hats off to Paul and Larry and Josh and Shane and everybody that's involved over there at the arena, because they have got a full slate of shows coming up.
Absolutely. When the pandemic struck, we were rolling really well. Momentum was growing. Paul Bowles and his staff have done a tremendous job, and we're picking up where we left off. So the latter half of 2021 is going to be packed at the arena.
It is. You got to keep watching your social media, your radio, television for those events. I know today, as we sit here during this recording, a big announcement came this very day. So I'll let you can pick up later on and see where that is and what that show is. But also Main Street Live is something that a lot of people look forward to in the summer. That's going to start around the 1st of June. Right. Full slate of great bands going to be there every couple weeks. In a safe outdoor environment, expanded a little bit. So you can mark your calendars. And of course, you can go to our city tourism page, because visit Pikeville.com has a full listing of everything that we have talked about today. So you can go and click your event and look around and take your calendar out and mark your own calendars.
There is plenty going on in Pikeville this summer. So you can find something to do.
Yeah, you just have to just to look for it and go ahead and book your tickets and do all that sort of thing now. But I'll tell you, if you just walk downtown at any given time, you'll see something going on.
Absolutely.
Whether it's in the park, on Main Street, 2nd Street. Restaurants are open, shops are opening back up. New shops coming to 2nd Street. There is one, too, beside the shops of 225 that is under construction now. We can't announce that yet, but that will be coming soon, probably in the next 3 weeks or so. So we're excited about that. We're also excited about the fact that our city commission meetings are now open once again to people and to the public.
After a long time of being only live streamed, you are now welcome to come back to the commission meeting. They're the 2nd and 4th Monday of every month at City Hall at 6 p.m.
Yeah. Always something to do, always something to see. Philip, thanks so much for your time today. This has been the Pikeville City Manager's Report. Thank you so much for joining us.